All right, welcome everybody. Greetings, Happy New Year. Today's Monday, January 9th. This is a regular city commission meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If I could get a roll call from our city clerk, Vanessa Castillo.
Commissioner Mercer. Here. Commissioner Yates.
Here.
Commissioner Powell.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong.
Here.
Mayor Dantzler.
Here. Our invocation tonight will be led by preacher Jim Reed from Winter Haven Christian Church, and our pledge of allegiance will be led by Vanessa Castillo, our city clerk. Please stand to fable.
Your Honor, commissioners, and all other personnel. May we talk to God. Our Father in heaven, thank you for your omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. We are in awe to be your children, led by you through Jesus and your Spirit. Thank you for your presence here with us. And the awesome commissioners and the personnel that is here tonight, wanting to improve and advance Winter Haven. Thank you for those in the past who have helped us do so to the present and made the future be brighter because of the decisions made here tonight. May each one allow you to help them on the directions and the decisions that they have to make. We love you, Father. Thank you. In Jesus' name we all say.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Presentations tonight. We have a presentation from the Heart of Florida chapter of the Florida Society of Certified Public Managers. Justin Trawler, come forward, please. Good to see you again, Justin.
Good evening. Good to see you too, Mayor. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, City Executive Team, to all those in attendance watching here in person and watching live stream. My name is Justin Troller, and I am the immediate past president of the Best Certified Public Manager Alumni Association in the state of Florida. We are the CPM Alumni Association for the CPM graduates in Polk, Highlands, and Hardee counties. We have members that represent the city of Winter Haven, the city of Lakeland, the Polk County Board of County Commissioners, the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Highlands County Board of County Commissioners, the Department of Transportation, Polk Tax Collector, Children's and Families, and a few of those folks in the private sector. Our chapter was founded in 2020 by a dedicated group of CPM graduates that include several members from the city of Winter Haven. For those of you that do not know, the CPM program is a nationally recognized program for training and developing public sector managers and supervisors. It is currently offered in 38 states, and its primary goal is to professionalize public management and to improve organizational efficiency and effectiveness. Florida has one of the largest and most successful CPM programs in the country, with nearly 5,500 graduates from more than 100 agencies. The CPM program is a 2-year program and is a comprehensive course of study by which public managers can acquire and apply best practices and theory to their organization's management behaviors and strategies using prescribed sets of professional competencies. The program is administered through the Askew School of Public Administration at Florida State University. The city of Winter Haven has been participating in the CPM program for years by investing in team members that have and will become leaders of the organization. It is a privilege for me to highlight a few City of Winter Haven team members and Heart of Florida chapter members today who have contributed to the success of our chapter over the last 2 years. But first, I'd like to thank all the City of Winter Haven chapter members for their membership and participation in the chapter. Those members include, and in no particular order, Todd Gooding, who is our president-elect, Ariel Gonzalez, David Nicholson, Michael Carnival, Michael Campbell, who is a director, Jessica Schilling, and Heather Reuter, who is our incoming president starting this month. Each of these members are crucial to the success of our chapter, and I thank them for their membership in our amazing alumni chapter. I'd like to recognize two of your City of Winter Haven team members who have contributed a great deal to the success of our chapter and have gone above and beyond to ensure its continued growth and development. I will recognize both individuals and then invite them both up to receive their certificates at the same time so that we can take a picture, if that's okay with you. Now to the awards. First, I'd like to recognize is Michael Campbell, Streets and Drainage Superintendent. Over the last 2 years, Michael has served as a director of the Heart of Florida chapter on its leadership team. His efforts over the last 2 years have helped our chapter increase our membership by 15%. Michael continues to be a great asset for our chapter, and I'm proud to present him with the Heart of Florida Chapter Certificate of Appreciation Award, which will complement his President's Award that he received last year. Last but not least, I'd like to recognize Heather Reuter, Senior Planner. To do Heather justice, I would like to read the nomination letter that I submitted to the Florida Society of Certified Public Managers for Heather to be recognized as CPM of the Year. The letter reads, "Dear Heather, it is with great enthusiasm and excitement that I nominate you for the Florida Society of Certified Public Managers CPM of the Year and recognize you as the Heart of Florida Chapter's CPM of the Year. You are a dedicated public servant, a true asset to the City of Winter Haven organization, an indispensable member of the Heart of Florida chapter of the Florida Society of Certified Public Managers, and a revered community leader. You epitomize the mission of the FSCPM with your high professional and ethical standards in all of your dealings, both public and private. You balance work, home, and community life with such effectiveness and fortitude, all while being the backbone of the Heart of Florida chapter and an outspoken supporter of the vision and purpose of the Florida State Certified Public Manager Program. Your professional experience started with public supermarkets as a cashier, and over your 11-year career with the company, you rose through the ranks to retail receptionist, then assistant to the district manager, then a general liability analyst to supervisor of office administration. Throughout your progression with public supermarkets, you continually developed your leadership and management skills before even being exposed to the Certified Public Manager Program and its principle. You are a natural leader, born leader that believes in elevating others around you to be successful. After your successful career with Publix, the City of Winter Haven was fortunate enough to hire you as an executive assistant, but quickly realized your attention to detail and planning acumen was definitely underutilized and quickly transitioned you to a Planner 1 position. It did not take long for you to again progress through the organization into a Planner 2 and then to a senior planner for the second largest city in Polk County. Your current responsibilities include working with zoning, land use, ordinances, variances, annexation, research on planning issues, as well as preparing staff reports for the City of Winter Haven's governing board. Some of your leadership roles have served in over your tenure include a member of the city's Special Event Review Committee, Department Web Steward, member of the Ridge League of Cities Annual Dinner Committee, Downtown CRA Parking Program Administrator, Ship Administrator, and AHAC Staff Contact, a team leader for the city's continuous improvement process, and a member of the Public Safety Initiative. Your professional associations include being a graduate of Leadership Winter Haven Class 40, a current member of Leadership Polk Class 16, a member of the American Planning Association, a member of the APA Florida chapter, and a member of the Heart of Florida section of APA Florida. You are a founding member of the Heart of Florida chapter of the FSCPM, served as the president-elect for the last 2 years, and just transitioned into the role as president. You received the HFCPM Outstanding Visionary Award and Heart of Florida President's Award for your leadership in forming our chapter in such a short period of time. In addition to your role as president, you manage all of our chapter's communication efforts, which you handle with creativity and professionalism. Your professional career and associations are a testament to your commitment to improving organizational knowledge and continually immersing yourself in professional development opportunities so that you can be a better, outstanding public servant. Your community life is equally as impressive as your public life. You founded Feed the Ridge, a local initiative to sponsor food drives and mobile pantries to serve the food insecure in your community. To date, you have led over a dozen food drives, collecting over 65,000 pounds of food and toiletries, estimated value over $110,000, and several mobile food pantry events that have raised over $10,000 in contributions. You serve on the board of directors for Girls Incorporated of Winter Haven, where you are an inspiration to and role model for every girl that wants to learn, grow, and succeed. Additionally, you serve on the board of directors of the Cypress Junction Montessori, where you help with the pursuit of academic excellence opportunities for school-age children in Winter Haven. Recently competed in 2021 Celebrity Lip Sync Battle, where you personally raised over $8,000 for the Public Education Partnership of Winter Haven, and CJM, where you sang Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 and did an Elvis Presley medley. Your unwavering commitment to your community has earned you a number of recognitions, including a nomination for the Polk County Emerging Leaders Award. You are a proud wife to Jason and supermom to your 3 sons, Lance, Cade, and Mac. You continue to exemplify excellence by your service to your family and to Kairos Church in Winter Haven, where you serve on the welcome and announcements team and share your gift of photography and graphic design for church marketing and events. In your spare time, besides spending time with your beautiful family, you enjoy photography and hand lettering. It is clear to me that your recognition of commitment to professional standards, career development opportunities, thirst for new developments in public service, and your leadership prowess in all aspects of your life exemplify the true definition of what a certified public manager should be. If she knew, and if this is to her, you knew that I was nominating you for the Florida Society Certified Public Manager CPN of the Year, you would quickly deflect the idea and ask that I nominate someone else. And you would do that because you seek no recognition at all for your tireless efforts to making your community a better place to live, learn, work, and play. I recognize that the Florida Society of Certified Public Managers organization is full of committed and dedicated members, many of which are deserving of recognition. However, it is with the highest degree of encouragement that I request that the Nominations and Awards Committee look favorably on this request to name you Florida Society Certified Public Manager of the Year and recognize you as our own personal Heart of Florida Certified Public Manager of the Year. So with that, if I can call both Michael and Heather up to receive their certificates, and we'd love to have any photo opportunities with the governing board, that'd
Sure.
be fantastic. Well, who knew?
Yeah, you know what?
Okay, next up, we have a proclamation for Florida Arbor Day, not Arbordale, Arbor Day. Savannah, you want to come forward, please? Savannah here? Yep, I saw her back there. Savannah Winstanley works in our stormwater and ecosystem analyst. Okay, this is a proclamation from Winter Haven, Chain Lake City. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world during the local tree planting season. And whereas trees reduce erosion by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate temperature extremes, remove pollutants, reduce stormwater runoff, reduce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas the city of Winter Haven is committed to promoting ecologically sound urban forestry principles as evidenced by the nationally recognized as a Tree City USA for more than 25 years. Whereas trees in Winter Haven have increased property values and enhanced the economic vitality of the business areas while beautifying our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, provide a source of joy and spiritual renewal while standing as both literal and metaphorical pillars of our community. Now therefore, I, Bradley T. Dantzler, Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, Florida, do hereby proclaim January 20th, 2023 as Florida Arbor Day in the city of Winter Haven and urge all citizens to support efforts to keep our urban forest healthy and sustainable. In witness whereof, I have undue set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Winter Haven, Florida, to be affixed this 9th day, January 2023. Brad Dantzler, Mayor. Vanessa Castillo, City Clerk. Anything you'd like to say, Savannah?
Yeah, I think we have a brief presentation to give you guys an update on urban forestry. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners. Thank you for recognizing Arbor Day. And this is a presentation that some of you may be familiar with, but we have some exciting updates on what we are doing in the city of Winter Haven to promote urban forestry in general that we wanted to provide you with today. So urban forestry is a management approach that looks at the forest at forest level at a 30,000-foot level. What that means is we're not micromanaging each individual tree, whether it gets removed or whether you prune it. We're looking at the urban forest health as a whole. As you mentioned in the proclamation, we have been a designated tree city annually since 1993. This means that the city is dedicated to improving our tree canopy. We have also received the Growth Awards for the last 11 years, which means that our city goes above and beyond for tree care and community engagement in urban forestry. So in 2019 and 2020, with the help of two Florida Forest Service grants, the city completed an update of our 2007 inventory of street and park trees. This data resulted in a couple of recommendations from the arborist consultant. The main one of these was to ramp up planting efforts, as we have had a lot of tree removals and the majority of our trees are older and likely to decrease the canopy even further in coming years. There is also a recommendation to improve planting space sizes and species selection. For example, Chinese elms perform poorly around the city, and as a city dominated by oaks, which are a beautiful tree, they are also aging out and reducing the overall diversity of our canopy. It was also noticed that there were many conflicts between palm trees and power lines that should be monitored in the future. So this is a graphic that kind of sums up the main findings of that data. We have gained about 2,000 trees since 2007, but lost about 4,000, which is a net loss of about just under 1,500. As far as condition goes, we have about 40% that are either excellent or good condition. And then beyond that, the majority of our forest is fair to very poor. So with this information, we were able to generate a map of where tree loss has been concentrated in the city. What you're looking at here is the orange areas are where the most tree loss has happened since 2007. And the green areas, which are mainly on the outskirts, are where we've had an increase in canopy. All this goes to show that in a no action scenario, trends will likely accelerate with Winter Haven's increased growth. So to address this, the city is using our urban forestry consultant to develop a urban forest management plan. Again, with funding assistance from the Florida Forest Service, to compile this inventory data into a long-range action plan. This will include an inventory of available planting spaces around the city, budget estimates, maintenance plans, recommendations on how to improve our tree ordinance and policies. It will result in a technical document as well as an interactive webpage similar to the Lakes report, which will be geared towards public education and engagement. It will be a citywide, interdepartmental, and community-driven effort. It will take everyone to come together on how to manage trees in the city and chart the path forward for the urban forest. In conjunction with this plan effort, we were planning to reform the Urban Forest Advisory Board. Due to COVID and other delays, the board's ability to meet has been limited, but we're gonna ramp up those meetings and reform the board and get their input as a sounding board on this new plan as it's developed. There is also a plan to have an Arbor Day celebration this year, and there will be more information on that. That is it.
Savannah, are you guys going to give away trees like you have in years past?
We would love to do that again. I'm not sure that we'll be able to do that this year, but we'll see. We're still in the planning stages.
The water trees mainly for the lakes, or was that something else? Because I got some from you guys and they're still growing, so I got them going.
I think we did some cypress seed. Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yep, that's right. Okay, well, we'll have a picture. Okay. Next up, we have a Martin Luther King Jr. Day Proclamation. Christine Samuel, or if you come up, please. And your whole group, yes.
Thank you.
Come on up. More the merrier.
Right.
Okay, this is a proclamation from Winter Haven to Chain Lake City. Whereas Winter Haven recognizes how diversity and inclusion is woven into the fabric of American life and solidifies the foundation of strong communities. And whereas Martin Luther King Jr. Day was established as a United States holiday in 1983 and is celebrated annually around the time of Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday on January 15th. And whereas Dr. King's message of nonviolence and love in the face of hatred and bigotry continues to inspire and guide us today. And whereas his legacy serves as a reminder of the importance of standing up for what is right, even in the face of great adversity. Whereas every year on this day, we recommit ourselves to the work of building a more just and equal society. And whereas we must continue to come together to celebrate the progress that has been made and rededicate ourselves to the ongoing work of creating a world where all people are treated with dignity and respect. And whereas we reflect on the words of Dr. King, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Now, therefore, I, Bradley T. Dancer, Mayor of the City of Winter Haven, do hereby proclaim Monday, January 16th, 2023 as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the city of Winter Haven, and I urge all citizens to participate in the events and activities being held in his honor and to carry the spirit of this day with them throughout the year. In witness whereof I have unto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Winter Haven, Florida to be fixed this 9th day, January 2023. Brad Nance for mayor, Vanessa Castillo, city clerk.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney. We're just so delighted to be here this afternoon. On behalf of the MLK Committee and the Diversity Committee, the volunteers, many of our volunteers here are from the community, and they have served tirelessly trying to assist us with this week-long activity. And we just want to say thank you to them for their service to this committee. We are honored to receive this proclamation in recognition of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s week within this city. This is our second year to host this week-long event from Monday to Monday. I love how the city and the community are working together. How awesome is this? We thank you for your leadership. We thank you for your support. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we are doing. I can truly say, I believe that Dr. King would say that we are moving the city of Winter Haven forward. Based on your leadership, based on the community, we're coming together as he would like for us to come. So we would like to say thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity to serve.
How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Okay, next we have Martin Luther King Jr. celebration presentation from Natalie Wilson, our special events coordinator. Arts, Recreation, and Culture.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Natalie Wilson. I'm happy to be the new special event coordinator for the city of Winter Haven. And tonight I'm here to talk about the week-long celebration of MLK Jr. on behalf of the MLK Steering Committee. This committee has worked extensively in planning these events. I'm honored to share their hard work with you. Through all these events, the committee wishes to celebrate Dr. King's vision of harmony, social justice, and peace with the city of Winter Haven, and welcomes everyone to participate in our week-long celebration. Our first event is tomorrow. It is a story time hosted at the Winter Haven Recreational Cultural Center and will begin at 4 p.m. Our programming includes crafts and coloring, and of course allows families to learn more about Dr. King with several books selected by the committee and provided by the Winter Haven Library. This event is free to the public, and of course all are welcome to attend. Next, also at the Winter Haven Recreational and Cultural Center at 6 p.m., there will be a program titled Importance of Service. In the program, the committee and volunteers will discuss why civic service is important in a community and dives more into how Dr. King used his voice to instill change. This program also includes a spoken word artist, a dance performance, and a reading of Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, and more. Again, free to the public, and we are excited to see you all there. At 10 a.m. on Thursday morning at MLK Park, the committee and city staff will be honoring the legacy of Dr. King in our annual wreath laying ceremony. The wreath will be placed in the park and will lay in remembrance of Dr. King for the remainder of MLK week. Later that evening, in partnership with the Historic Ritz Theater, the committee welcomes the community to a free movie or screening of the 2013 film 42. 42 is a movie starring the late Chadwick Boseman and depicts MLB legend Jackie Robinson, who was the first Black athlete to play in the MLB and follows his early career with the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Ritz Theater will also be providing some concessions for purchase. On Friday, the city and committee will be hosting a unity luncheon at Nora Mayo Hall at 11:30 a.m. This catered lunch will include our mistress of ceremonies, Dr. Angela Garcia Falconetti, president of Polk State College, and our notable speaker, our former Florida State attorney, Aramis Aaliyah. This luncheon will also include a performance from the Jewett School of the Arts and the presentation of our 2023 local heroes, which were nominated by the community and voted on by the committee. Tickets are still available for purchase for $5, and you can purchase those at the Winter Haven Recreational and Cultural Center, as well as Nora Mayo Hall. The committee encourages the community to purchase their tickets as soon as they can to ensure their attendance to the luncheon. On Saturday, the MLK Commemorative Parade Committee and community will walk in the 44th Annual MLK Parade. Setup for parade participants will begin at Lake Maud Recreation Park at 8 a.m. The parade will then begin at 10 a.m., which continues west on MLK Avenue and then south on First Street. The parade will then make their way around the east side of Lake Silver and end at the Garden Center. At this time, there are currently 70 parade entries, and the committee is eager to host this parade with the theme, "Together We Can Be the Dream." In addition to the events that have been prepared by the committee, I'm happy to share some other events hosted by other community groups within our spaces. There will be a post-parade celebration hosted at Tuckerson Field next to the Winter Haven Recreation and Cultural Center. This is a free event for the community where there will be a train ride for kids, a bounce house, and some concessions. And then finally, on Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the concerned citizens of Winter Haven and the NAACP Winter Haven Branch 5144 will be hosting a breakfast honoring Dr. King at the Winter Haven Recreational Cultural Center beginning at 9 a.m. Again, this is a free event and the whole community is welcome. Finally, I would like to thank the MLK Steering Committee for their efforts and dedication to making this week a fun and memorable week, all in honoring the memory of Dr. King. I have been grateful to them for their work and can't wait to see you all and the community at all of our events this week. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you're gonna be bored this week, a
Yeah,
lot going on.
just everything to do.
I will say for everybody that's coming out to the parade on Saturday, dress warm. It will be rather cool out. So.
Chilly. Okay. Next, we have our Trail Town designation presentation by Andy Palmer, Parks, Planning and Strategic Initiatives Manager.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I have here with me Katie White. Katie is with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection Office of Freeways and Trails. And back in December, Julie Adams, Steve Michael, and myself went to the ferry and received our Trail Town designation. And we're really excited about this. And we're going to give you a quick update. Katie is going to give you a little bit of information from the state perspective, and I'm going to go into just a little bit about what makes us a Trail Town, and then invite you guys to our really cool event, which is going to be our kickoff, our Trail Town.
So this program was conceived in 2017, and we kicked off with our first Trail Town in 2018 with the city of Bennington. And now 5 years later, we have 13 Trail Towns with the inclusion of the city of Bennington. So some of the goals of the program are to promote tourism and growth of the Florida Green Trail system.
enhance the quality of reported trail experience, and increase the amount and frequency of trail users in Florida. So some of the criteria we look at when we visit a trail town is this municipality a gateway, a hub, or a trail user-friendly place? Does it have its own trail system? Is it connected to our greater trail system in the state? Is there local business support? We also look for different amenities such as rentals, supplies, shuttles, things like that. And then we also look for good signage and trail information. Can folks who are coming to your town find the trail easily? Can they go off the trail and find different amenities pretty easily as well? We also look for safety and lodging, food, trail supplies, water. So do trail users have everything right off of the or close vicinity of the trail that they would need on their journey, whether it's just a short trip or if they're doing coast to coast, which is far away from Winter Haven. And then we also look at community events and whether those are taking place, including 5Ks, and if they're promoting trails in the area. So these are some pictures that I took during our Trail Town tour with Andy last year. Some of the things that we really liked and stood out about the city of Winter Haven were the separated multi-use paths. And we love the information center and the chamber, or not, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, thank you. And the trail goes right through it, which is pretty neat. We love that the directory has an interactive touch screen. And then some safety features that we really liked were all the lighting on the trails, some of the call boxes along the trail, and also the safe crossing over 17.2 there. Some of the amenities that we really liked and stood out to us was the bike shop, and across the street Grove Roots, and then down the way you had all kinds of restaurants and different opportunities to get off the trail and visit local parks and connecting communities. Something that our office thought was really neat as well is the chain of lakes. So we also do paddling trails in our office. So this was a cool feature for us. And then last but not least, we like seeing that everyone on the trail can get water. So, and that's my dog. So, so now I'll hand it over to Andy.
I'd like to thank Katie for coming in and being here with me this evening. Just a little bit about our trail town. Our downtown trail or Central Park that's where the railroad used to come in way, very long, early 1900s and take passengers, visitors between Lake Alfred and Winter Haven. And in the 1990s, the city worked with Katie's predecessors with the Office of Greenways and Trails and actually acquired the trail corridor north of Avenue T at the time, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard now. And that is actually owned by that corridor, this trail corridor is actually owned by the state and we lease it. And today we have a long-term lease on that property. And that was really the first of our trail effort. But what I like to point out with our trails is that our locally connected trails all make up the state network. The coast to coast connector is about a 240-mile route, which encompasses of local trails. And it goes from the East Coast to the West Coast. I actually did it last February. And it bisects the Van Fleet Trail. And one of the really cool things, the Van Fleet Trail goes down into the Auburndale Trail. And our Chain of Lakes Trail goes up to Lake Alfred. Just stay with me for a second. And all of that trail, we're about 42 miles from where that state route would intersect the Van Fleet Trail. And we're only missing 6 miles of trail. So with that 6 miles of trail, which would be on the old Dixie Trail, which is currently being funded through DOT, we will actually be a great side trip from the coast to coast connector. Think of Winter Garden or Dunedin. Currently, we have 14 miles of trail, and they encompass everything from the Chain of Lakes Trail to our loop trails and our complete street systems and our Lake Howard Trail. We're actually looking forward to going out to bid in the next month or two on our Lake Albert Trail. That project are coming together very nicely. And we have several more trails planned over the next few years between our complete street projects. And again, our local Blue Way makes up a great paddling trail with our chain of lakes. And Trail Town designation is really about our, what do we have here in Winter Haven? We have a special place with events and public spaces. We have our Trail Town lifestyle. This is one of the few places where you can come and have a ski show right off the trail. You can have the slow roll at the ski show, and I'm gonna come back to that in just a moment. We have great destinations, a variety of destinations. We have our cultural destinations from our theaters to our recreation destinations to our breweries and our cafes and great restaurants and our libraries. We also have one of the big, great things that Winter Haven's working on and that we're making a lot of progress on is our downtown living. So to stay in a hotel or to live downtown, and those residents and visitors will use our trail system. The future of our trail network is really, again, we have several complete streets over the next few years and our Lake Elbert Trail, but then our Sapphire Necklace with the One Water vision, that's really our long-range vision of our trail network. And this is actually being considered by the state to put this in their trail network as well. Our campaign rollout for Trail Town is, we're really working on a campaign, and we have several partners that we're working with. We're working with the Chamber and Main Street on a trail-friendly program. And as we have upcoming events, really use our Trail Town designation. We have some really cool signs that we're gonna put at some gateways. And what I wanted to do is on February 18th, we would like to, and we are theming the Slow Roll Ski Show, which meets at the bike shop and then goes to the ski show and then goes back to Grove Roots. We are going to actually theme that after our Trail Town. And we would like to invite the commission to help lead that. The bike shop has indicated that they have bikes if you don't have a bike. So we'll get you some more information on that. And with that, I'm really excited again that we are a trail town, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. And thanks again.
Questions? All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Eddie. Okay, no developments of note. Commissioners, you have the minutes from the October 10th, 2022 regular city commission meeting minutes, December 7th, city commission meeting agenda review, and the December 12th, 2022 regular city commission meeting.
Mayor,
Yes,
for approval of all the minutes as presented.
thank you. We have a motion to approve the minutes as presented. I'll close the city commission meeting, open a public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak about anything item on the minutes, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. On to comments from the audience. We have one, Mrs. Patty Zelsman. You're still here, Patty? Yes, give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
My name is Patty Zeltman at 210 Lake Howard Drive Northwest. I'm calling here. I have, since the meeting started, found out this Airbnb thing is really going to be handled by I take it, Florida legislature. But I wanted to make everyone in the community aware that these people they're just looking for money. And they're establishing Airbnb. Does everybody understand what an Airbnb is?
Yes.
Okay. They're putting them in communities that have nice homes. All right, now you think about your home, and if you'd like to wake up and next door, you have strangers that have moved in for the weekend or for the week. You have no idea if they're going to have loud parties, or if they're going to be quiet. You have no idea who it is. And a lot of times you'll not even have any idea who actually owns that property. I think this is a very bad move for the county, much less the state. So I'd just like you all to be aware of that. That's all, because I understand there's not much you can do about it.
Right.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Anybody else like to address the commission at this time? Please come forward, give us your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Sean Wilson. I'm the president of Blue Sky Communities. We're an affordable housing developer, and we are at 180 Fountain Parkway in St. Petersburg. 10 years ago, I formed Blue Sky Communities, really with the main goal of helping local governments achieve their goal in the area of affordable housing development and management, and being good stewards of resources and delivering a high-quality product that your workers and your business owners need. And I think we've accomplished that. And so I'm really here tonight that not just to give a commercial for Blue Sky Communities, but to thank you and to thank staff and Mr. Labby and the other folks that we've been working with over the past several months on a new development, which is up for final approval tonight, and we're raring to go. I think we've got all of our permits. I know I've gotten great reports from my staff about your staff and the permitting process. And so we just really appreciate the cooperation on that side. And of course, we appreciate the cooperation on the funding side because of your small local match of $460,000, I believe. We were able to leverage that into a $17 million application at the state, which we won. And Blue Sky, of course, we're also bringing in private funds. We try to borrow as much as we can on the open market to make those government dollars stretch as far as possible. And I can't wait to get the loans closed and get under construction and open up for the good residents of the city of Winter Haven. So thank you very much.
Sean, did you come to our planning session that we had down at the field house like 3 or 4 years ago? Were
That
you
was
there?
me. Yeah.
I remember that, and I remember how excited we were about your organization. And here it is, what was that, 4 years ago or
2021.
2000? Okay,
It
not
was-
that long.
It was during COVID. I remember that.
Yeah, and here it is, you're doing a project and we're really glad you're here and thank you. So,
So thank you. Thank you. I mean, that really demonstrated that the city and other municipalities around here have a desire to serve all of the community. And so very happy.
good. Well, thank you. Anybody else? Please come forward now. Seeing none, I will close the comments from the audience and move on to ordinance second reading. We have none. All right, on to reorganization of the city commission. We need to have an election of a mayor. And are we going to do this by paper or John, we do that normally? Sometimes we do.
Mr. Mayor, just depends on what
Okay.
the nomination process unfolds.
Okay, I'll open up nominations for mayor.
Mayor,
Yes,
I nominate Brad Danforth.
thank you. We have a motion to nominate Brad Dancer. Any other nominations? Okay, I will close the nominations and gratefully accept your nomination, and we'll ask if there's I will close the commission meeting, open a public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak? Please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen city commission. Commissioners, any darts you guys want to throw? All right,
We'll wait till you're sworn in.
yeah. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Election of,
This is somewhat reminiscent of a CRA board meeting earlier today.
well, it's easy doing this job with this commission. We get along good, and I'll make some comments later, but election of a mayor pro tem. I'm open for nominations for mayor pro tem.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I nominate current Mayor Pro Tem Nat Birdsong to continue in that role.
thank you. We have a motion for Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong to continue in that motion. Any other motions? Yes,
Who for nomination?
thank you. A motion to approve closed nominations. I will close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public would like to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. I'll ask again, any darts you guys want to throw? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign. All right, motion passes. All right. We're going to have a swearing in ceremony real quick.
Where that?
We're not standing over there anymore. But Mr. Mayor, if you want to stand right there, and please raise your right hand and repeat after me. What are we gonna do? Standing in front of. Ready? Very good. I, Bradley T. Dancer, do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the city of Winter Haven, the state of Florida, and the United States of America. That I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of mayor of the city of Winter Haven, on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. Official. Welcome back to
Bestow.
And we do every year. There's medallion, which is kept in our vault, lock and key. Comes out once a year at the organizational meeting, and there is my privilege and honor to present that to you very proudly. Where I'm a citizen measure, esteemed office of mayor of the city of Winter Haven.
Mr. Mayor, we'll need that back before you leave this evening, just so you know.
And also if you'll sign an oath that the city clerk has at some point, so she has the records to reflect what we just did. Do you need this back, Vanessa, or? I'll bring it back. It is now my pleasure to swear in our new mayor pro tem. If you will stand in front of the camera, I think they want to get you also on that as well. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr. Do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the city of Winter Haven, the state of Florida, and the United States of America. That I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and that I will faithfully perform the duties of Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Winter Haven, on which I am now about to enter. So help me God. Official.
Okay, we have presentations of plaques. And then we'll have liaison reassignment. So where are the plaques, John?
I've got them back here.
Got that? Okay. Come on, let's go.
We've got some plaques. Noted.
Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, it is my privilege and honor to present to you this plaque. It is presented to Bradley T. Dancer in recognition of your dedicated service as mayor, of the city of Winter Haven City Commission, 2022-2023, which is presented to you this 9th day of January of 2023. Thank you very much. He was photo opping, photo bombing. All right. It is again my privilege and pleasure to present to you Mayor Pro Tem Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr. a plaque which reads as follows. Presented to Nathaniel J. Birdsong Jr. in recognition of your dedicated service as Mayor Pro Tem to the City of Winter Haven City Commission 2022-2023. Presented this 9th day of January 2023. Congratulations.
Oh, all three of us. Not to make comparisons, but that went a lot faster than the election of the Speaker of the House over the past few days. So I'd like to congratulate you on the commission's efficiency.
There is a football game.
Something like that.
No. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that. Okay, liaison reassignments.
Mayor,
Yes.
I don't know how everybody else feels, it's just, but I move that we leave everything as is.
We have a motion to leave all liaison reassignments the way they are. Commissioners, y'all have any questions? Are you okay with this? Down that side?
I'm good.
Okay, well, I will close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Does anybody from the public want to speak to this item on the agenda? Please do so at this time. If not, I'll close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion passes. Commissioners, you have a consent agenda in front of you.
Mr. Mayor? move for
Yes.
Approval of the consent agenda as a whole.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole. I will close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this consent agenda, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion passes. On the resolution,
I just would like to say that I won't be at the Unity Luncheon on Friday because I'll be in Tallahassee for this practice meeting. And that's the organization that part of my liaison on this commission to the Central Florida Planning Council, Regional Planning Council. And I'm on there representing the city, and on that body, I have been appointed to represent that body on the state association, and so that's why I'll be. Right. So I just want to make that known that I'm gonna be AWL, but I'll be there in spirit.
you're looking for special dispensation for this particular event, so. Okay, resolution 12A, item 12A, R 2301, request by Spring Lake Capital. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R 23-01, a resolution terminating, abandoning, and releasing a 5-foot utility easement in favor of the city of Winter Haven as recorded in Official Records Book 207, page 302, Public Records of Polk County, Florida, authorizing the mayor and other city officials to execute a termination, abandonment, and release of said easement in favor of the city of Winter Haven, providing for administrative correction of scrivener's errors, severability, and providing for an effective date. General location, the east-west easement and associated right-of-way is generally located west of US Highway 17, approximately 220 feet south of the intersection of Spring Lake Plaza and US Highway 17. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
As mentioned the other evening, this property is directly south of the Floridinos Restaurant and west of US 17 6th Street. There on Spring Lake. In 1958, the city was granted a 5-foot wide perpetual easement and right of way to excavate, construct, and maintain underground sanitary sewer lines. Spring Lake Capital has arranged for the relocation and abandonment of all utilities within that easement and is now requesting the city vacate and release the easement to allow the construction of a new medical office building. There's no financial impacts associated with this request, and staff recommends City Commission approve resolution R-23-01. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
move for Approval of resolution R 23-01.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve R 23-01 resolution. I'll close city commission meeting, open the, yeah, we have a motion. I'll ask for a public comment on this. I will close this public hearing and reopen the city commission meeting. And try to slow down my diction a little bit here so I can not quite go so fast. Any questions or comments, commissioners? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. All right, on to ordinance first reading. This request by David Holden to assign residential low density future land use for 3 annex parcels. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-01, an ordinance amending ordinance 11-03, the 2025 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by revising the future land use map series by assigning residential low density future land use to 3 annex parcels, repealing all ordinances in conflict with, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location 10 35th Street Northwest, The area covered by this request is 7.28 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, Dave Holden, agent for Jerry Carter's requesting the city assign residential low density future land use and multifamily residential low density R3 zoning district to 3 annex parcels totaling 7.28 plus or minus acres located at 1035th Street Northwest. Subject property contains a single family residence, vacant land at present time. These parcels were annexed into the city in December of 2021. Petitioner proposed to develop a portion of the property with residential as part of a larger residential development on adjacent parcels to the east. Two of the parcels in this particular request provide connection to 35th Street Northwest to the west. Main parcel of this request will be divided. Current owner will retain the northern portion where there exists a single-family residence. If the maximum density of 10 dwelling units per acre allowed by the R3 zoning district, the theoretical maximum number of lots or units is 73. However, when internal roadways, minimum lot sizes, stormwater, and the removal of the northern portion of the main parcel from the new development area is accounted for, achieving that maximum theoretical density is not possible. The table in your fact sheet illustrates the water demands, what's vested, what's remaining following this. There is sufficient capacity within the utility system for that. School concurrency will be determined at a future date based upon the development. All public notifications for these requirements were met. Staff's review of the request yields the following conclusions: that the assignment of the residential low-density future land use in R3 zoning district is consistent with the surrounding uses and designations. There is sufficient public infrastructure capacity to accommodate the maximum theoretical development under R3. There's no direct financial impact to the city of these requests. Planning Commission on December 6, 2022 voted unanimously to recommend approval of these requests. There were 3 members of the public that spoke to concerns related to wildlife, natural resources, and traffic. Staff's recommending the City Commission approve ordinance 02301, the following ordinance as well, which is 02302. This is first reading. I will say that I'll show you, there was some question during the agenda review. AJ, if you can pull up slide 60. With there, let's see. I'm driving. Okay, so this lot in red is what you see we're considering today. You can see the single family development that's at the top there, the residence. That's roughly where that property is going to be divided out. So that retains that portion. Everything you see in blue is already has the land use and zoning and will be basically melded together with this land use and zoning that you're doing now. So all of that becomes one development going forward. So it's not just that smaller piece. I don't know at this point if there's an access that will come in off of Lake Deer Drive South. Eric, do you know?
They did come into a DRC meeting fairly recently. And at that time, they were not showing an access to Lake Deer. They were showing access out to 35th.
So
But there are not any approved site plans at this point.
So that just gives you an understanding of the bigger picture that we had discussed the other night. It's a little easier to illustrate this way. So with that, that concludes my report this evening, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we will take this up in 2 weeks. 02302 companion ordinance, request by David Holden to assign multifamily residential. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number 0-23-02, an ordinance amending chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by assigning multifamily residential low density R-3 zoning district to 3 annex parcels, repealing all ordinances in conflict with, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location, 1035th Street Northwest. The area covered by this request is 7.28 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
You, City Manager.
Mayor and Commission, this again is a companion ordinance that pertains to zoning on the same property. We recommend this be carried forward to second reading.
All right, thank you. On to item 13C. This is a request by Jackson 3 LLC. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number 0-23-03. An ordinance amending ordinance 1103, the 2025 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by revising the future land use map series by assigning commercial future land use to an annex parcel, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location, a parcel located at the northwest corner of the intersection of the Eagle Lake Loop Road, Eloise Loop Road, and Pollard Road. The area covered by this request is 4.49 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
You, City Manager.
Mayor Commissioners, Jackson 3 LLC is requesting the city assign commercial future land use and commercial highway C3 zoning district to an annex parcel located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Eagle Lake Loop Road, Eloise Loop Road, and Pollard Road, totaling 4.49 plus or minus acres. This property was annexed into the city September 26th of 22. Petitioner proposes to develop the property with personal storage, which personal storage is permitted by special use approval in the C3 zoning district. The table in your chart illustrates the available capacity within water, sewer, and transportation. The requested commercial future land use is consistent with city designations located at the southeast corner of this intersection. The requested C3 zoning district is consistent with commercial future land use designation. All public notifications have been met. Staff's review of this request yields the following conclusions. The assignment of commercial future land use in C3 zoning district is consistent with surrounding uses and designations and appropriate due to the subject property's location at the intersection of 3 collector roadways. There is sufficient public infrastructure capacity to accommodate the maximum theoretical development under C3. There's no direct financial impact to the city with these requests. Planning Commission on December 6, 2022 voted unanimously to recommend approval of these requests. There was one member of the public that spoke and stated no objection to the proposed development. Going back to our discussion of Wednesday evening, and as pointed out within the opening of the fact sheet, that personal storage is permitted by special use approval in the C3 zoning district. So what we'll approve in the next or consider for approval at your second reading is the designation of the land use and the zoning for this property. That does not arbitrarily or just automatically approve the use of it for personal storage. That goes back through the Planning Commission as a special use approval. That is expected to happen perhaps in April or sometime between late March and April or May, I think is what Sean told me this morning. At that point, the Planning Commission will hear that and they can place conditions upon that development such as buffering and, whether it's design features or orientation, whatever it may be that they see they need to do. And that's in response to any of the surrounding residents that are there. That's the same process that we would do on any personal storage here. As you recall our discussion the other night, the one that is on the southeast corner of Pollard Road, a lot of conditions were put upon that one when it came in for development several years back in response to concerns that the residents to the east of that had. So there is still an approval process in that. This is just for land use and this in the following ordinance first read, which will be for zoning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. Any questions before we move on? On 13D, this is a request, this is a companion, this is a request by Jackson 3 LLC. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-04, an ordinance amending chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by assigning commercial highway C3 zoning district to an annex parcel, repealing all ordinances in conflict with, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location, a parcel located at the northwest corner of the intersection of Eagle Lake Loop Road, Eloise Loop Road, and Pollard Road. The area covered by this request is 4.49 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor Commissioners, again, this is a companion ordinance that pertains to zoning on the aforementioned property.
Gotcha. All right, 13E on your agenda is O-2305. This is administrative request to amend the capital improvement element of the comp plan. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-05, an ordinance amending ordinance 11-03, the 2025 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by amending the schedule of capital improvements, portion of the capital improvements element of the City Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan, revising capital improvement element policies 1.1.7 and 1.1.8, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Mayor Commissioners, Florida statutes require all local governments to adopt a 5-year schedule of capital improvements as part of the comprehensive plan. This update includes fiscal years 2022-23 through 2026-27. 5-year schedule of capital improvement consists of items identified in the capital improvement program portion of the city's operating budget that implements specific objectives and policies contained in the comprehensive plan and those future projects for which grant funding will be pursued. Total capital spending for the proposed 5-year schedule is approximately $377.6 million. Funding is provided from a combination of general and enterprise funds, impact fees, grants, bond revenues, loans, state and county revenue sharing, and private contributions. Policies 1.1.7 and 1.1.8 formally adopt by reference to the current FDOT five-year work program, the Polk County five-year transportation work program, and the five-year work program adopted by the Polk County School Board. Adopting these work programs is necessary to fully implement the city's concurrency management system. All public notifications and requirements for this request were met. Planning Commission at its December 6, 2022 regular meeting unanimously voted to recommend approval. Staff recommends this be moved forward for second reading.
Thank you, City Manager. Commissioners, any questions or comments before we move on? Okay, we'll move on to 13F on your agenda, 02306. This is a voluntary annexation of a parcel located generally south and west of Old Bartow, Lake Wales Road, and east of Waters Road. City Attorney, would you provide title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-23-06, an ordinance extend the corporate limits of the city of Winter Haven, Florida, so as to include therein additional territory lying contiguous and adjacent to the present boundaries of the city of Winter Haven, Florida, describing such additional territory, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location, a parcel generally located south and west of Old Bartow Lake Wales Road, east of Waters Road, and approximately 2,516 feet plus or minus north of Whidden Cemetery Road. The area covered by this request is 65.92 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
You, City Manager.
Mayor Commissioners, Winter Lake PHLP, the petitioner requests City Commission annex one parcel totaling 65.92 acres, generally located in the area where the city attorney just read to you. Petitioner is seeking annexation for this purpose of developing the subject property. Current taxable value of the subject property is approximately $92,185 based on the city's current tax millage rate, 6.59 mils. Expected annual tax revenue will be approximately $607. Additional revenue is expected upon development of the property. Staff recommends City Commission move this forward for second reading.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments on 13F? Okay, on to new business. This is approval and authorization of loan documents for Lawrence Place. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have anything to read, so I will defer to the city manager on this.
City Manager, would you take this one?
Certainly, and this is the project that Sean Wilson was just up speaking about, so we'll again, thank you for being here. August 9th, 2021, City Commission authorized a local contribution in the amount of $460,000 to Blue Sky Communities LLC for the development of 88 units of affordable housing at the northwest corner of First Street North and Avenue S, known as Lawrence Place. Developer subsequently applied for and was awarded low-income housing tax credits by Florida Housing Finance Corporation, secured additional funding in the form of a first mortgage and home funds contribution from Polk County, and received site plan and building permit approval from the city of Winter Haven. Promissory note, subaward loan agreement, and mortgage have been prepared consistent with the city's previously approved local contribution and related term sheet, Florida Housing Finance Corporation, LIHTC regulations to secure the $460,000 local contribution. This is a 0% loan payable upon expiration of the term or default. It is forgivable upon written consent of the city. Term is 18 years. Again, the amount is $460,000, and the city is third position on this project. The city has budgeted this funds in its Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Staff recommends City Commission approve the promissory note, subaward loan agreement, and mortgage, and authorize the city manager to execute same on behalf of the city, and also authorize city manager to execute and deliver any subordination agreements that the city manager and city attorney approve and find acceptable as related to this transaction, and to take all other necessary actions related thereto. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mayor.
Yes.
Move approval of new business item 14A, the approval and authorization of the loan documents for Florence.
All right. I will close the city commission meeting, open a public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen city commission meeting. I can't wait to vote for this. It's going to be a good thing. All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign, motion passes. All right. Good day. 14B, First Amendment to Agreement for Sale and Purpose of Real Property. City Attorney, would you read by title only, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's no title to read on this one. I will defer to city manager.
City Manager.
Certainly. We, and I'm gonna ask John to kind of tag team with me on this one. We talked about this the other night. This is the property being sold to Onyx Taylor Hospitality LLC. It is the existing 20-space parking facility located northwest corner of Third Street Southwest and Avenue A. As I mentioned the other evening, originally this parcel contains 9,902 acres or square feet. and had a sale price of $220,000. As it was surveyed, determined that the area in yellow, which was more appropriate for their acquisition and necessary, what is highlighted in red at the bottom there is more specific to area that could be carved out from that. That reduced the square footage from 9,902 to 8,502. It's an adjustment of 14.14%. As such, the First Amendment to the Agreement for Sale and Purchase of Real Property contemplates 14.14% reduction in purchase price from $220,000 to $188,892. We discussed at the agenda review Wednesday. There was consensus to work towards some type of reverter or opportunity for the city to reacquire the property in the event of the project not moving forward. City Attorney John Murphy and his team worked with the representatives and the attorneys for Onyx Taylor over the days following that, and I'll let John elaborate on what we came to in that regard that I think will be to your satisfaction.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And as Mr. Stavros has noted, in the agenda that was updated earlier this afternoon, there is now going to be a notation on the special warranty deed when we convey the property at closing to the Onyx Taylor Hospitality LLC entity, that the city will have an option to repurchase the property back at the same price that they are paying us now on certain conditions. And there are two conditions that would trigger the city's option to repurchase. The first one is if the Onyx Taylor Hospitality has not obtained a loan for the construction and completion, which is the important terminology, so that is a substantial loan of its proposed proposal within 18 months of the date of closing for a project that's consistent with how it's described in the developers agreement we approved back in October, as well as the plans that have been approved as they may be amended. Second, at any time between the date of closing, which would be later this month, and 18 months after the date of closing, if Onyx Taylor Hospitality determines it will not proceed with the proposed project, it sends notice to the city of that fact, and then we, the city, have 21 days from our receipt of that notice to elect to repurchase the property. Again, same terms and conditions, same price that we're paying now, or that they're paying us. The special warranty deed should be delivered at closing. As I mentioned, we'll have a statement of record referencing this option to purchase. If the option is validly exercised by the city, then we will work out the details. The closing would occur within 30 days of that time. The city would pay whatever transaction costs would be associated with that, as is customary. And to the extent that would be any documentary stamp taxes due, to the extent we're not prohibited because we're exempt from paying them, they would be paid. This is something that will bind the property owner, and so they cannot convey the property without us knowing about it. The reason being is that it'll be on the deed into them. So there may be a point in time when they come back to us, if we've not exercised the option, or if we have, where that would get, officially removed. Of course, if we don't exercise the option, it would automatically revert, but there's language in the amendment that allows for a document to be approved by the commission and then recorded in the public records after the fact. So I think we're getting everything that I understood that you articulated that you thought was a good idea at your agenda review session, January 4. Mr. Donaldson is here tonight in the audience on behalf of his group. I don't see anyone else, but certainly can answer questions if you have any as to the contours of their transaction that they can answer. But this amendment, I think, is important. We recommend it, and closing will be pretty soon, right, Jeff? Yeah, next week. So we'll get working. There's some other things that we still need to do. As we noted at the workshop, we still will get a license agreement to be allowed to continue to use the parking lot until such time as they go to construction for demolition, et cetera. We are also going to be dealing with solid waste on a temporary basis, as well as on a permanent basis, because their plans call for installation of a compactor, similar to what we're planning for the parking structure now that's just north of this. So we're still very much in a lot of work to do still on this, but recommend you approve the First Amendment. And hopefully it addresses the concerns that you articulated. It was met with reasonableness. I must say all along that dealing with Mr. Alexander, their attorney, and both Jeff Donaldson and the Onyx folks, it's been very congenial and straightforward.
Perfect.
And so we're in good shape.
Thank you. Okay, commissioners, well, that's good news. I will receive a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Move approval of 14B, First Amendment to the agreement for the sale and purchase of real.
Thank you. A motion to approve the agreement for sale of real property. I will close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public like to speak to this, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion passes. All right. 14C, 14D look like they're related. This is a settlement agreement between Mark Macy and the city of Winter Haven. City attorney, I'll just turn this over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. We had a lengthy discussion on this the other evening at agenda review, so I'll try and hit the high points here. 925 Lake Elbert Park Drive Northeast is a 0.57 acre residential property owned by Mr. Mark T. Macy. Includes two single-family structures located on the property, a main home and an accessory cottage house, both constructed around 1925. Within the past few years, property has been mismanaged, poorly maintained. Beginning in 2015, Code Enforcement Division began a series of administrative code enforcement actions against Mark Macy as the owner and the property for violations of minimum property maintenance standards. Over time, that has resulted in the property assessing a sum of $84,831.11 in fines that attach to 925 Lake Elbert Park Drive Northeast as a city lien. Those liens continue to increase by an amount of $125 per day until the property is brought into compliance. Part of our ongoing code compliance process, staff, code compliance, the police department and the fire department inspected the property back in 2022, August, determined that the property was being illegally used by the occupant Thomas Macy as a rental room and boarding space in violation of the city's zoning ordinance, the Florida Building Code, Florida Fire Prevention Code, and Florida Life Safety Code. August 18th of 22, the building division and fire department closed the property to occupancy on an emergency basis for outstanding emergency violations of Florida Building Code, Fire Prevention Code, and the Florida Life Safety Code. Recent inspections by staff confirmed the property is again being used for those purposes that are not in compliance with the zoning and the aforementioned codes. Additionally, two fires of unknown origin have been set in this area, one of which consumed a nearby structure and one which consumed a large banyan tree on this particular property. So staff began working with the city attorney to move towards foreclosure of the city's liens on this property. That draft legal action began in October 22. It sought a declaration of nuisance by the circuit court in an order of abatement, foreclosure of the city's liens, foreclosure of any equitable judicial liens for nuisance abatement costs and expenses, a money judgment against Mark Macy as the owner, and an injunction against Mark Macy, Tom Macy, and all unknown occupants of that property. Since the drafting of that action, the city attorney has been able to negotiate a comprehensive pre-suit settlement agreement with Mark Macy as the owner. Under the terms and conditions of that agreement, Mark Macy has agreed to sell the property at 925 Lake Elbert Park Drive to the city for a sum of $75,000, the bulk of which will be used by Macy to satisfy a mortgage with seniority and to pay outstanding real estate tax obligations. Property will be free and clear of all liens, encumbrances, occupancies, and defects in title, except for any liens arising from the city's code compliance matters. Mr. Macy will agree to release the city from any disputes, cases, or claims he may have arising out of his ownership and operation of the property. The city will agree to release Mr. Macy in his personal capacity only from any disputes, cases, and claims the city may have arising out of his ownership and operation of the property. It's anticipated by city staff that the city will be able to successfully close the property and eliminate the current nuisance that affects surrounding properties and neighborhoods. Direct financial impact the city will be the expected payment of the property purchase price, $75,000 plus nominal closing expenses. In addition, city's outstanding code enforcement fines and liens totaling $84,831.11 at present are expected to merge the city's fee simple title to the property upon acquisition. Staff estimates settlement agreement will ultimately be financially beneficial to the city by saving the city the time associated with foreclosure effort, cost of legal expenses associated with prosecuting foreclosure, and the cost of staff time related to future expected code compliance, law enforcement, fire, and code enforcement matters occurring prior to entry of the final judgment foreclosure. Staff is recommending at this time, City Commission approve the settlement agreement between Mark T. Macy, an individual, and the City of Winter Haven, Florida, a Florida Municipal Corporation. Authorize city manager and city officers to take such further actions as they deem necessary in order to implement the same. So again, this is the settlement agreement that addresses the liens and the nuisance on the property. The item that will follow this for your consideration is the actual purchase and sale agreement that Mr. Mason has agreed to with us.
Commissioners?
Mayor.
Yes.
Move approval of 14D settlement agreement between Mark T. Mason and City of Winter Haven.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve the settlement agreement. I'll close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anybody from the public want to weigh in on this, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Commissioners, questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose like sign, motion passes. 14, this is an agreement for purchase and sale of the real property. P. Michael?
Certainly. Again, this is the purchase and sale agreement that was denoted within the settlement agreement. The terms and conditions are as such: within 5 business days of the effective date of the agreement, the city will escrow a good faith deposit payment with the city attorney's office. The balance of the purchase price will be escrowed by the city prior to the date of closing. Within 5 business days of the effective date of the agreement, Macy will provide the city with title commitments and insurance policies, surveys, and environmental reports, if any exist. Macy will agree to convey the property to the city, subject to a limited set of predefined, commercially accepted, permitted exceptions to title. Closing will occur 20 days following the effective date of the agreement. The city will pay closing costs, cost of a policy, title insurance, the cost of recording the deed, and 1/2 of the customary nominal closing expenses in Polk County, Florida. Macy will pay closing costs consisting of outstanding debts on the property secured by a mortgage, back taxes, recording costs related to perfecting a title, documentary stamp tax, Macy's attorney's fees and costs, if any, and 1/2 the customary and normal closing expenses in Polk County, Florida. Properties being acquired as is. Direct financial impact of the city is the purchase price of $75,000 plus nominal closing expenses. This will be paid from the contingency reserves, which have a present balance within the 22-23 fiscal year budget of $139,445. City staff recommends the commission approve this agreement for purchase and sale. Thank you.
Commissioners?
Mayor.
Yes.
Move approval of item 14D, agreement purchase and sale of real property between Mark T. Macy and City of Winter Haven.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion to approve agreement for purchase and sale. I'll close city commission meeting, open to public hearing. Anybody from the public want to speak to this item, please do so at this time. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Commissioners, questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Pose like sign, motion passes. City commission liaison reports. Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong, you want to go first?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank my fellow commissioners for electing me as the Mayor Pro Tem for another year. And I don't take it lightly, and I really do appreciate the confidence that you all have in me to elect me as the Mayor Pro Tem. So thank you very much. I've only had a few things. One of them is the TPO meeting that we had in December. And for the first time, it was presented to us by the Turnpike Authority that the Central Polk Parkway, the east leg, was being considered for funding. And I had not heard that before. And what they presented to us is that from Highway 60 to the interstate, that section, that they are actually going to spend money as it relates to that section and between the years 2024, 2027. So, and that's the Turnpike Authority. So that was major news for all of us, because we know about, and you all know about, that the section from it comes to Highway 17, we know that's funded. And the section that will go from Highway 17 to 60, we know that's funded. But this is the first time that we had heard anything, at least about that east section. So that's some very, very good news for us.
Mayor Pro Tem, is that a single leg from there up to I-4? Or is it
Yes.
multiple legs?
Yes.
Single leg.
Yes. So, I mean, I've got all of the talks and everything that they laid out at that meeting. But like I said, that's the first time that I've actually seen anything that was spending money on that leg. But that's good news. So maybe before I'm too old, I may be able to drive on it. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but just maybe. The other thing is the Central Florida Regional Planning Council, Pat Steed retired. And Jennifer Salisbury is now the new executive director of the Central Florida Regional Planning Council. And all of that took place. I had been on the committee looking at candidates to replace Pat. And it was our recommendation to hire Jennifer Salisbury, of which City of Winter Haven, I know we are very familiar with her because she has done a couple of CRA advisory committees, strategic updates. So very happy about Jennifer getting that job. And also at that meeting, I was reappointed to be on the Spriker board for another year or so. That so be it. But those were the major items that I had since our last.
I have nothing to say.
Brian.
Attended the TPO board meeting as well, so I echo Mayor Pro Tem's comments there. Attended the Planning Commission meeting last week, and things are rolling and picking back up there. And I expressed our thanks from the commission here to the planning commissioners that serve on that commission. Their service is not unnoticed, and just sent my thanks from us to them. That's pretty much it. So just two other things. National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day is today. So thank you to all of our law enforcement officers. And then also want to send congratulations out to Winter Haven High School for becoming #1 in the state for boys basketball. So that's pretty awesome.
Tracy.
Attended Terry Carver. He's a utility plant manager from time to time, and attended his retirement. Also looking forward to Florence Place with the 88 units with our affordable housing plan. I want to say congratulations to the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem. And hope to see everyone at the 2023 week-long event of MLK Junior celebration.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
there were two other things about that TPO meeting. I was so excited about the Central Polk Parkway, the other two items, which I should be just as excited, and that's 544. Basically, not only, we had been, we don't have it all the way from MLK to 27, but they have actually, they are funding from MLK to Avenue Y. And when I say funding, I don't use that word loosely, because when you say funding, that means that they've allocated funds for right-of-way acquisition, for the study, and for construction. Mind you, the construction is the big caveat there. But they have, that's funded from, as I said, MLK to Avenue Y, to try to alleviate some of the real bad congestion that we have on 544.
Mayor
So that-
Pro Tem, real quick on that, I think they may actually have it funded to the canal. It may be the first two phases that are funded in that, and they're gonna come present.
They're
to
gonna
this
present,
committee,
well, I'm
this
just saying
commission.
what they presented to
Yeah.
us. They just
think it
said
may be a
Avenue
little more
Y,
than that.
and Brian and I were jumping up and down. So we were happy that we could get it at least to Avenue Y. The other thing is that the DOT is putting in about 2.5 million to do Thompson Nursery Road. So that road, unless the money drops out of Polk County, that road is fully funded all the way. The total full lanes all the way to 27. So that was a good news item as well. So those are three major roads that's really good for the city of Winter Haven.
Yeah, that's good news. You can interrupt me anytime you want to give us that kind of news. Okay, I'll be brief. Yeah, I attended Terry Carver's retirement celebration too. Good to shake his hand and wish him the best. We had a TDC board meeting and was there for that, and Polk Vision Board of Directors meeting down in Bartow. Attended one of those, had a Christmas celebration at the same time at the Bartow Golf Course. I had to actually got a chance to do something really fun. I went to the Ritz Theater. You guys hear Eric and Mike on the radio in the morning, how funny those guys are. They really are funny people. And they've got me and Mayor Bill Mutz up on the stage and had their way with us, and just really had a lot of fun though. They were doing a fundraiser, and Vanessa was there, and a lot of people were there. It was crowded. It was packed. They sell out real quick. It's a fundraiser. And I had a really good time with Mayor Mutz, just yucking it up and cutting up and just laughing and having a good time there. So yeah, it was fun. And then, of course, we were all at the Winter Haven holiday party. Nobody mentioned it, but we were all there for that. So, oh, you missed it, but you missed it too? Well, you were there in spirit. Okay. That was it for me. On to City Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Commission, and congratulations, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, for another year. Looking forward to it. And nothing else tonight. Thank you.
I did meant to thank my fellow commissioners, let them know how much I appreciate the confidence you placed in me. It really has become an easy job with the way that we get along and the way we don't fight and yard and yellow and argue, and it's nice. So thank you so much for another year, and we got some really good things coming up. We all got updates, I think, today. So there's some really cool things coming down the city, and looking forward to being with you guys another year. So we're doing good things, and we're all pulling mostly in the same direction. So it's a good deal. So City Manager.
And congrats to you and Mayor Pro Tem both. Mayor Pro Tem, you are by far the hardest working, most traveling to represent us, Mayor Pro Tem, of any in the county. So if that road does get built while you're still on the commission, I'm sure that you're going to be using it quite a bit, because your committees tend to send you everywhere. And congratulations to Commissioner Yates, Commissioner Mercer, for your appointments to represent the leadership there on the CRA board as the chair and vice chair. I don't think I have anything for you this evening. Just a reminder of the activities this week. Our offices at City Hall will be closed on Monday in observance with a city holiday. And with respect to your calendars and any appointments you may need to coordinate for next week, Manager Nicholson from our office will be out of the office and unavailable next Tuesday through the end of that week. So we'll have some staff staff here that'll be helping out in her absence, but if you call looking for her, she won't be here.
Okey-doke.
That's it.
City Clerk? All right. Emergency matters not received for the agenda. Motion to adjourn. We're adjourned.